late afternoon sun slanted through the tall windows of the Grant home in Beverly Hills, casting long golden stripes across the polished marble floor. Ginger Grant, still in the simple black dress she'd worn to court, her now platinum blonde hair slightly tousled from the drive home, pushed open the front door and stepped inside. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. No children's laughter echoing from the playroom, no housekeeper bustling about. Just the faint tick of the grandfather clock in the hall. She set her purse down on the entry table with a soft thud and leaned against the door for a moment, closing her eyes. The judge's gavel still rang in her ears. The declaration of death is hereby rescinded. Ginger Grant is alive and restored to all legal rights and privileges. Simple words, but they had felt like a miracle. 3 years lost at sea, 5 years presumed gone forever, and now officially back. But back to what? Her mind wandered to the island, that speck of paradise turned prison. The endless blue horizon, the crash of waves that drowned out her sobs in the early days. Roy, the professor, as she'd called him to protect his identity, had been her lifeline. A scientist, stranded like her with the rest of the crew from the minnow, with his gentle humor and survival skills. They'd built huts from palm fronds, fished with handmade spears, shared stories under starlit skies. Ginger walked slowly into the living room. The furniture was the same, yet different, new throw pillows in a shade of coral she would never have chosen, a modern abstract painting over the fireplace where a serene seascape used to hang. Signs of another woman's touch. She sank onto the sofa, kicking off her heels, and let her head fall back. A subtle reminder of the life that had filled this space in her absence. The doorbell chimed. She didn't move at first. Then, with a small sigh, she rose and opened the door. Mike Brady stood on the threshold, hat in hand, looking every inch the charming architect who had once swept her off her feet. His tie was loosened, his expression unreadable. Behind him, the manicured lawn stretched out, dotted with rose bushes she'd planted years ago, now blooming wildly without her care. Ginger. Mike. She stepped aside. Come in. I suppose we should talk. He entered, glancing around as if seeing the house for the first time. The boys are with my mother for the afternoon. I thought, we might need some time alone. She nodded, leading him to the bar cart. Old habits. She poured 2 fingers of scotch for him, nothing for herself. She'd sworn off anything stronger after the island, where the only spirits were the fermented fruits that made her head spin. You look tired, she said, handing him the glass. I am. He accepted it but didn't drink. Carol's filing for annulment. The marriage was never consummated, technically. Not after you came back. Ginger raised an eyebrow. Technically. Mike gave a short laugh, the sound without humor. She's a good woman, Ginger. She didn't sign up for this circus. We met at a charity gala, she was organizing it, all poise and efficiency. I thought she could help me forget. And did she? Ginger's voice was steady, but her hands trembled slightly as she smoothed her dress. For a while. But then you showed up, tan and alive, like a ghost from my best dreams. He set the glass down untouched. I thought you were gone. I mourned you. Held a memorial service on the beach where we honeymooned. The kids scattered flowers into the ocean. Then I tried to move on. And then you walked through that door like nothing had happened. Like nothing had happened? Her voice sharpened. I spent 3 years sleeping on sand, eating coconuts, talking to imaginary versions of you just to stay sane. I came home to find my husband remarried and my children calling another woman mother. Don't tell me nothing happened. Mike rubbed the back of his neck, his eyes dropping to the floor. I know. And I'm sorry. But you weren't exactly alone out there, were you? Roy Hinckley. The professor. The name hung between them like smoke. Ginger flashed back to the day the minnow had become shipwrecked on the small island, screams, then the cold slap of water. Washing up on that deserted shore with Roy and the other castaways, all dazed and grateful. He'd taught them to climb for fresh water, weave nets for fish. Nights by the fire, sharing regrets. But boundaries had been drawn early, no crossing lines that couldn't be uncrossed. Ginger crossed her arms. The professor was a gentleman. We all survived together. That's all. He respected that I was married even if the world thought otherwise. Mike's jaw tightened. He looked at you like you hung the moon. And you looked back. I saw it when he came to the house. I was lonely. Desperate. But I never betrayed you, Mike. Not once. She paused, her voice softening. On the island, I'd carve our initials into driftwood, tell stories about you to pass the time. The professor listened, but he knew my heart was here. She searched his face. The man she'd loved, the man she'd dreamed of on that endless beach. He was still there, beneath the guilt and the uncertainty. But scars ran deep. And Carol and her girls? She won't just disappear. Mike sighed. She's packing now. We talked last night. She wants what's best for the kids and for us. Said she always knew she was a placeholder. Before she could answer, the front door burst open. 3 small whirlwinds, little Greg, Peter, and Bobby, raced in, cheeks flushed, trailed by Alice the housekeeper, a basket of groceries in hand. Mommy! Bobby cried, launching himself at Ginger's legs. Peter and Greg followed, clutching a drawing of a family, stick figures under a sunny sky, with an extra tall one labeled Mom. Ginger dropped to her knees, enveloping all 3 of their children in her arms. Tears stung her eyes as they clung to her. Peter started babbling about school and ice cream and how Grandma let them stay up late to watch cartoons. Look what I made. Bobby thrust the drawing forward. That's you, back from the island. Ginger's heart swelled. It's beautiful, sweetie. We're all together now. Alice and Mike's mother hovered in the doorway, their eyes misty. We'll just put these groceries away, Alice murmured, slipping into the kitchen. When the children finally released her and scampered off to the kitchen for cookies, Ginger stood. She looked at Mike, really looked, and felt something shift inside her. The years apart had changed them, but the core remained.